Was this completely stupid? Yes, it was. It's just split on the carbon. Sorry. Here we go, this is it. This is number one of the day here at Lake Coniston. Not optimistic about the weather today, but we need to get the paddleboard up and get on with it. The aim of today is to do 9 lakes in the Lake District National Park. We've got to stop, paddle on them all in the next, well, let's face it, kind of 10 hours or so. Let's get the board blown up and get into it. The board we're going to be using today is the Wave Recon. This is their newest edition, actually. I think it's the Recon 3.0. And we are going to cheat a little bit this morning because, well, we've got an electric pump to help do this. Got our life jacket on. As soon as that's blown up, we're going to hit Lake 1, no messing around. I'm optimistic. I think we can do this. It's only 9 lakes. How hard can it be, you know? Shit. There we go. First of many carries today down to the lake. Feeling optimistic, feeling ready for the day ahead. I'm pretty sure it's going to be tough, but right now this just seems like the most fantastic idea in the world. There's a little bit of wind out in Coniston this morning, but nothing that me and the Recon cannot cope with. Not the smoothest of launches. There we go. It is an absolutely beautiful lake, Coniston. I held Speed Week on here just a few weeks ago. Such a good mess about board, the Recon. Anyway, that is, well, Coniston officially done. Kneel down before we hit the rocks. That is Lake 1, officially done here at Coniston. Let's go hit Lake 2, Windermere. This is the sort of day a pair of roof bars were invented for. That, look at that, that is like an adventure scene there, ready to go. Windermere, like a whole different animal. This is normally a very, very busy lake. I suspect today it's probably not going to be quite as busy. Although I've just seen a huge group of kayakers go out, so you never know. Windermere was way 13,000 years ago in the last glacial ice age. I don't think main roads were around then. Windermere is meant to be one of the prettiest lakes in the Lake District. Kind of just looks a bit grim, let's face it. I think, quick lap of the boats, and then we're on to the next lake, let's go. Right, next lake. Literally a swarm of kayakers. Negotiate through them. Oh my god. Sorry. God. Sorry about that. By a kayaker there. Anyway, next lake, let's go. One of the main things I want to stress is doing this properly. I mean, like Windermere, for instance, isn't the nicest of lakes, but you want to make sure you're wiping down your board in between every single paddle, getting all that, any mud, any gunk you can see off. Obviously drying it's not possible today because it's raining, but we're not bothered about the rain, we're just bothered about spreading bits and pieces between the lakes. So, might not be filmed, but it is happening between every single lake, especially lakes like Windermere. We are literally after one of 3 parking spaces here for Grasmere. I'm not optimistic. The weather's rubbish, but it's the Lake District and it's summer, so people have come here on holiday. They will park in parking spaces if they can, and they're free. But ideally, we're going to get these parking spaces just coming up on the right, across the road. We're through the woods and we're on to Grasmere, which is lake number 3. Oh my god, they are all empty. What the hell? Look at that. That is spot on. Let me pull in there. What does that say? Private woodland, don't go in there. Fantastic, we are not interested in their woodland. It is scenic here at Grasmere, as you can see. One of the most scenic places in the entire Lake District National Park. 3, 2, 1, go! Go, 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 go! I didn't even realise you could do this here at Grasmere, to be honest. It took a little bit of research to find out. I mean, it's difficult to get to, and it's like actually limited in the launch spots. There's like a cafe on the other side you're meant to be able to launch at too. But yeah, I mean, in theory, you can. You're not allowed to at Rydal, which is the lake just down. Rydal is completely private. However, Grasmere, seemingly not. I'm actually very excited for this because Grasmere is, well, it's like a mill pond today. Learning my lesson here, we're going to go in fin first like you should with a paddleboard. Good thing about the Recon is it is like so lovely and wide. You can just have a proper good mess about. I'm not 100% sure, but I think if I was to spin around like that behind me, Loughrig Fell, I think. Oh, absolutely exquisite here at Grasmere. Lake check, we've now done 3 out of 9. That is a third of the lakes done for the day. We've so far done Coniston, Windermere, and we've done Grasmere, which is absolutely fantastic. Ullswater is next in our sights, and then Derwent, which will put us over the halfway point, which is fantastic. This is the longest drive we've got of the day, 40 minutes through. Number 4, we are here. This is Ullswater, which is a lake I've been on quite a few times over the years. We're launching today from here at the pier house. All you have to do to launch is literally just go in and tell them, and they'll tell you about the ferries and everything before you head out. Hopefully I'm not going to get taken out by one of those today. I've got one simple goal in mind for this. I just want to paddle out around that little rocky outcrop just over there and back. One thing quite fortunate with today is actually the wind speed, because the wind speed said 10 miles an hour, which isn't great for doing this sort of thing on big lakes, but actually it's not been too bad at all. Now I reckon on this journey we can actually even get a traverse in. Shall we see if we can traverse the island? Here we are, landing at the island. I have no idea what this is called. I'm going to call it Reese's Island for today. Let's go. Get our traverse in as we cross this stunning island here in Ullswater. And then slowly, oh, there's a missing shoe there. Bring ourselves back down. This not the best drop back into the water, if I'm honest. Back in the water, traversed. That is number 4 done here at Ullswater. Pleased with that. It was actually a really nice little paddle, and we managed to avoid the worst of the wind as well. Next on the list is Bassenthwaite Lake. Technically the only lake we're going to paddle today, because the rest are Mersey waters. Like some serious repetition at this point. We arrive somewhere, we get the board off, we go for a paddle, and then we carry on. I thought this was going to be really easy, to be honest. And it's not necessarily difficult, but it's just, I don't know, soggy and kind of hard work. So you do need a permit to come here on to Bassenthwaite. It isn't free. like a lot of the others. It's £7, you buy it through the National Park Authority, valid all day. I think you can get like multiple day and annual and all the rest of it. But yeah, it is actually incredibly pretty. It's like kind of the back of Skiddaw, I guess, that sort of side. A lot of mud though, that's the only problem. So this point that I'm currently launching from is called Blackstock Point here on Bassenthwaite, and it's kind of the most southerly point you can launch from. If you go any further south, that is a nature reserve. You're not allowed to paddle in there unless you're paddling the river through, I believe, and then you can go through that area. North of here, you're pretty set. It's also open access on this side too, so it's quite a good launch spot, to be honest. Let's get on with it. We're going to get a pirouette done here on Bassenthwaite and move on to the next lake. Let's get it done. Sorry folks, no falling in like I'm sure you're after. Let's do it, that's Lake 5 done. On to Derwent. So far it is 3:10. We started at about 10:30, so we've been going for coming up to 5 hours now at this little challenge. My first ever paddle in the Lake District National Park was on Derwent water, so I've just got an absolute affection for it. First ever paddle was here on Derwent water with a group actually as well. Had like this fleet of inflatable kayaks. And it was a really, really hard day. As are most of my days out, as it turns out. But that day on Derwent was particularly difficult. Anyway, looks a little bit nice today to be back out here. I cannot believe the sun is actually starting to come out through this challenge. I really did not think that was going to be the case. And I started this earlier today. It was truly, truly miserable. But I can actually feel a bit of warmth on my face. It's just absolutely stunning. And the views out here are just amazing, you know. It's always an absolute pleasure to be here on Derwent water. That never changes. What a great lake to be number 6, eh? That's it, 6 out of 9 done. Buttermere is next. Let's go get it. Safe to say we have covered every single angle of the Lake District at this point. It's kind of mad to think that we've so far paddled on 6 different lakes. You know, we're now going through some of the steepest mountain passes in the Lake District and squeezing past cars along the way. Was this completely stupid? Yes, it was. Could be. 3 more lakes to go. Here, look. Boating, £5. Check that out. I don't think our membership card's working, so I'll have to go with coins. And then in theory, we should get a boating ticket, hopefully, for Buttermere. Fee paid, look at that. Boating on Buttermere. Fee paid. That's cool, alright. So, what's slightly mad though is this car park is nowhere near Buttermere. So, we're now going to have to drive to the car park that is near Buttermere to use our Buttermere boating ticket. This isn't really paddleboard friendly. And I've got to be mindful of people's cars too. Ugh. Could we not just paddleboard in these puddles instead, perhaps? These check, clean, dry signs are everywhere in the lakes at the moment. And I guess it's a real problem. I mean, people are just paddling from one lake to the next. I'm at the extreme of that. I'm doing 9 of them in one day. But obviously checking, cleaning and doing my board properly between each one. But you can see how stuff just spreads. Buttermere's looking a little bit bleak today. It's even got a bit of chop on it as well. Let's go out, see how far we can get up the lake, have a paddle around, come back and get number 7 ticked off our list. It's just completely gone. Oh no. Well, that couldn't have been more of a sad start to a paddle. I have got a spare one in the car, so I can do the next 2 paddles. But yeah, literally, you can just see on there, it's just split on the carbon. I mean, this was a prototype paddle that I got given. I mean, it wasn't a finished product, but I've had it for such a long time, and I loved it. Right, well, I'm going to go and do what I deserve, which is to go and have a paddle with not a lot of paddle here on Buttermere. My very clever girlfriend has just pointed out that I could put the top into the bottom section, because actually that was alright. So I now have sort of a carbon canoe paddle. I might just paddle off into the sunset. Here on my canoe. It's felt like a long day, you know. It's also a really shallow get in and out this too. That's what I want now, is to be knocked over by the wind. Anyway, as we carry on, we must pick up our remnants of carbon fibre paddles and carry on. Let's get it. Didn't see that happening. You might have guessed, but number 8 is of course Crummock Water. This is our penultimate lake for the day, and we're just trying to find the parking for it. There's meant to be like a cut through down to the lake from like a lay-by parking wise. You also need a permit for Crummock Water too. We've obviously already obtained that, which is great. So yeah, we just need to find the parking, get ourselves down, head into Crummock Water, and we should be set to go. Crummock Water means we're nearly there. Ugh. That was a little bit rougher than I thought it was going to be, I'm not going to lie. Can't be far now, surely. We're running, come on. Crummock Water's not even somewhere I've thought about paddling before, to be honest. Very similar to Buttermere. I mean, they are connected by a little river as well. Let's head out, have a paddle around, tick off Crummock Water before we finish off this challenge. I actually kind of wanted to come out and have a proper bit of paddle on Crummock. It's a little bit choppy, it's a little bit windy, but look at it, so beautiful. And just dead as well. I mean, obviously dead. There's no one here. Oh, it's just stunning. Definitely somewhere I have to come back to with more time. As you can see, 33 minutes remaining on our time there. ETA 27. We're going to have been on the go 8-9 hours now. That's not too bad. That's like an hour a lake. When you consider we paddled 9 different lakes in the Lake District, I think that's pretty impressive, to be honest. I think Wastwater is going to be looking pretty gloomy, but you know what? I don't even care. We're going to bring the brightness to Wastwater because I'm just so excited to mainly get this wetsuit off me and be done with this. Let's do it. Ah, this is not the flourish to the finish I thought it was going to be. I mean, it is beautiful, don't get me wrong. You're in Wastwater of all places. That is still not a bad view, despite the weather being absolutely, insert a word there that I can't say. Right, we need to get this board off. We need to get on that water, have a paddle, and just be done with it. Lake number 9. I can't tell you how pleased we're going to be to not have to put this paddleboard back on the roof. Ratchet straps are a great thing, but they're very noisy while you're driving along. It's been like sort of an orchestra of ratchet straps the entire way around the Lake District. The final walk. Oh, this is just absolutely fantastic. What a place too. The screes of Wastwater. That was one of the reasons I finished here, was just that idea of serene and peace and it being the prettiest of all the lakes you could probably paddle in the Lake District, let's face it. This feels good. At the last moments, oh, there's like a nice little launch here, just between the rocks. Just the perfect place for the final paddle onto the beautiful and mighty Wastwater. Oh, this is just absolutely stunning out here. Definitely worthy of a cheeky stand-up. It just shows the public access we have here in the Lake District National Parks. The fact you can come and paddle this many lakes, and it's cost a little bit in parking and a little bit in permits, but I mean the most beautiful one of them all, in my opinion, Wastwater, even in horrific weather, is just free to come and enjoy. I mean, even the parking's free. We're just parked up there at the side of the lake. What an adventure that has been here in the Lake District. I mean, 9 lakes, 10 hours. Will it be something I'll be repeating? Not sure. But there's definitely some of these lakes I'll be back to paddle a bit more thoroughly in the future, including the beautiful Wastwater here. What a stunning end to an incredible day. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.